We're off to Impact Arena today for the International Motor Show, and unfortunately they still haven't finished that line yet, so I have to take a shuttle bus, which is somewhere over there. Still seems quite odd with the way that the MRT BTS system works. Okay, so this pink line which we're getting off on is part of the MRT system, yet we actually got onto the MRT from the BTS with no change of cards, which means I'm still using a rabbit card here for the MRT when I've got an MRT card which gets half price. I never quite worked that one out anyway. And I get off the train and we got a nice little sun shower going on right now. Well, I hope there's a sun shower. We weren't expecting anything heavy rain. It's looking a bit grey there north there. But anyway, there's our shuttle service. So unfortunately, Jerry managed to get on the wrong side of the train and ended up going one stop the other way. He's on his return loop now. Yeah, for some reason we just got. I stopped on the BTS line. I asked the guy at the station which exit to go to Impact, whereas Jerry just went and took the first escalator and he ended up on the wrong platform. Yeah, just got to watch yourself. Take instructions. Don't be scared to talk to people, even if you don't speak the language. Okay. And I thought it was a sun shower. It's starting to get a little on the heavier side now. I don't know how well that comes through on the actual camera, but yeah, this is Thailand. This is summer and it rains. And he finally makes it here.
That was 15 minutes of our life wasted.
Well, look, the rain has been and gone. You missed the rainstorm. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, we're going to get one of these things.
How did you get to here instead of the shuttle over to there?
Well, don't worry. Let's let them deal with it. That's where it is.
I know.
We don't ask this,
but the train's supposed to take us there now.
Yeah, but the train's not finished yet. Maybe it goes through some inspections or something. I don't know. It looks like it's ready to run, but it's a train. It's not ready. Well, we made it here again. Impact Challenger. It can be a challenge to get out here. The shuttle service, yeah, I'm not quite sure. They worked a rule down there. They want to fill the shuttle before they let it go, which means you can be waiting there 20 minutes before it comes. Yeah, the 15 baht. I'd rather do that than walk for 2 kilometres or 1 kilometre or however. Anyway, we are here. We're going to get tickets to get inside, but we're also hungry, so let's have a look at the Sky Kitchen. What do we got for food? Hungry, hungry, hungry. Well, that is a little bit on the shocking side. This is their food court in Impact. Now, I'm so used to these food courts, to the general eating areas where 60, 70 baht. So you'd automatically just, without even thinking, put 200 baht on a card, we'll manage that. And you start looking around and, oh my God, trying to find something for 200 baht. This is not a shopping centre, this is Impact Arena. Seriously. Who are they trying to kid with these prices?
Holy crap. Obviously we're not in Kansas anymore.
Impact Challenger.
Yeah.
Now at my local Steak 42, they do a fish and chips as well for 129 baht. 200 baht, it looks like I've only got half the fish here, really. And seriously, this is one of the hardest things to get in Thailand. Tartar sauce.
Tata or tartar?
Tartar, whatever you say it, I don't know. I have to find a recipe and work out how to make it myself. Well, lunch was over. That was actually surprisingly good, considering it was just fish and chips. I didn't know I was expecting bird's eye fish fingers, but it was actually quite good. Anyway, I've got to go and get a ticket now. At the car. Oh, you want to see my bag? Here we go, ticket station 2, 100 baht. 100 baht to get in. Okay, there you go. So here we are for the 46th annual motor show. Bangkok International Motor Show, there we go. Ready, set, go. What have we got this time? Okay, where do we start? So why do we come to the motor show every year? I know I spent a couple of years since I've been here. I come to the last one, I think, in December. But we give it a miss for a bit. They said we've already bought our cars and everything else. We don't need to buy anything. But again, sometimes it's good to dream. What's this thing over here? There we go. Look for a 14.999 yeah, the numbers just start to get a bit scary. What's this one here? 6.649. I'm in the wrong area, I can't afford these. Sometimes it's a scary thought when you see these cars, they're worth more than your house. And you can't sleep in them. I suppose you can sleep in them, but you know, wake up. There's a lot of staff at the front of Ford there. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Lots of faces. And again, I really don't know how the new duty situation is going to happen for here in Thailand. Ford being an American company, yeah, how's the duty system going to come in? Because like Thailand does hit America with duties coming in on their motor vehicles, and now I think America's just unwhacked in a reciprocal 43 or 47% duty on things coming out of Thailand. It's going to upset the marketplace quite badly. Last motor show, I hardly even knew what Zeekr Group was all about. But for the last 6 months, all we've had is just like Zeekr everywhere. Who's this? New kid on the block. Here's another brand I'm not familiar with. Geely? Again, I'm pretty sure they're all coming out of China, but yeah. All EV, there's some decent prices on the wall there. Well, 899,000. Not quite sure what they're selling for that. But again, it's just more EV. I think the shows now are all going to be EV. Petrol's on the way out, EV's on the way in. And just get that range system working, we'll be going good. But yeah, such is life. And I never understood why Hyundai is so expensive here in Thailand, considering it's, you know, South Korea and everything else, and the price we're paying in Australia. I know it's import duties again, and that's mostly what causes the car industry some most grief here. But why don't they? Again, the range of Hyundai is just nowhere near what we had in Australia. They're all about people movers here. As I'm not planning to buy a car, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the MG stand again, get an idea of the price of the MG, because that's the one that I would recommend if you're looking for a car here in Thailand. I've been very happy for the last 4 years, but that was 3 years or 4. How old's the MG now? I think it's time just goes. But yeah, we've been very happy with the MG. I know we're going to put it in for a service, so I think we're coming up to 3 years now. But been very, very happy with the car. So I will have a look around and see what they're doing now. So give you a bit of a heads up. Then we'll go and look at some motorcycles, okay? So I'm guessing from the signage, 664,900. I'd have to get a translator out, but I'm guessing this is it's an EV model. Not a bad price. No, this one here is 769,000. Maybe that's the starting price. But yeah, so an EV for 769,000. It's just a little bit less than what we paid for our petrol vehicle 3 years ago. All up, it looks quite nice inside. Reverse neutral drive, okay. Everything seems to fit. Nice little hatchback, good for city driving. Yeah, I said if it was available 3 years ago, I probably would have considered getting one of them. The biggest problem we have now with I'm so used to seeing these signs here talking about miles per gallon and so on and so forth, and you know, suspension and numbers, and it's all in Thai and it's all about electrics, and I have no idea what the key indicators are, how many watts, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's obviously for the younger kids these days, and me, I'm too old for this. As long as I can turn the thing on and go somewhere, I'm happy these days. God, I've had enough of building cars. This one here is the all-new MG3 Hybrid, 619. That's all right. It's a nice gunmetal. Now, of course, yeah, we've got CO2 readings and everything else because it's a hybrid, so we've got a petrol engine in it as well. But yeah, at a glance, I can't read that. I have to sit there and study the numbers. The one number I did see there was 5.6 litres per 100 kilometres, and I'm thinking, well, for a hybrid, surely I'd get a little bit more out of that. But again, I'm not looking at numbers these days. I don't really know what's good and bad, or even how far these things go. I was wondering whether they actually did sort of a people mover. So this is the Maxus 7. The numbers on the front say 1599. Let's have a look at the numbers on the side for this model. Oh, sort of good, spacious inside. Yeah, 1.769 for this model, which is probably with the sunroof and everything else. Yeah. Again, looks nice inside. Anyway, let's go and look at some real motor vehicles. Ones with wheels and tyres and no cage to keep you safe, if you know what I mean. Okay. Jerry was saying before that he'd like to see this particular motor show at the Queen Syndicate convention centre. I don't think they got a room big enough to hold this thing here down that way. This is about the only place they can actually have this particular expo because it is so big. Even Bitech pales into significance for this one. It is just big. Here's another brand that's been sort of everywhere you go in Thailand now. We're seeing this name, D-Power. That looks neat, doesn't it? So yeah, I walked all the way down here and check out the motorcycles, and we've got some sort of relegation going on here. Where's all the motorcycles gone to? Oh, okay, we've got some Harley over there, Suzuki, Yamaha, no Kawasaki. Like you saw, we're all Enfield towards the back. Where's Kawasaki? Oh no, there it is. The sign's backdrop. Cutie girls. So in a recent video I did sort of suggest the fact that we have a Royal Enfield showroom just down the road from us. Did you want me to pop in and check out what's available in a more personalised Royal Enfield expo? And I got one reply saying, yeah, do it, and that was it, one reply. Come on, I got more subscribers than that. If you want to know things, you've got to be participating. This is a participation game. I don't know if anybody's told you YouTube requires you to participate, ask questions, talk down below, talk amongst yourselves. You used to do that a lot these days. I don't really have a problem when you're having conversations. I will try to answer every question for you if it's on topic and relevant, otherwise it just gets a nothing reply. But again, be creative, ask questions. This is what we do YouTube for, we like to interact with people. But yeah, I'm quite happy to go out and just check out a few of these Royal Enfields. They are not a bad looking vehicle, for that classic styling. Like that one there, that one's for 650 shotgun. Yeah, that looks nice. I have heard about this one here. I think this is what they're bringing out as a replacement for the Vulcan. Very much a similar sort of styling. I wonder what sort of price they're asking for it. I'll be able to put my glasses out for that one. 199,000. No, really? How big is it? Yeah. Anyway, we have worked out that the Eliminator is the Vulcan replacement. Yes. 650cc. Yeah. How many different colour? Have the white. What colour?
White specs.
White and black.
Yeah, white and black.
Sidam and Sikao. Anyway, it's nice to see it. Let me just have I'll get the guy to hold the camera while I sit on it. Okay. And again, I'd like some high-rise 8 hangers again, which would be a change, but yeah, it feels good. I know that one of the things with the Vulcan we had before, it had multiple ride positions. You could change the angles of the thing. I have not looked into this one here, but this position, this comfort, I got a good seating. It feels a little bit higher than the Vulcan. Then again, it could be just the fact that we're on a stand and we've got no suspension riding. Well, actually no, suspension's there. Hey, well, yeah, it looks nice. White or black. Remember Henry Ford? You can have it in any colour you want, as long as it's black.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Taurai. Yes, 199,000, yeah. 199,000 this one? This is the right price. You know, I paid 200.
Oh, 200.
I had paid 260,000 when I buy my car, my bike, 4 or 5 years ago. Everything come down. Like the price of the MG came down in price. Notice what is going on here? I feel like I'm being ripped off left, right, and centre. Anyway, what else we got? Yada. Yeah. If you want the scooters, yeah, I think we can give. Look, okay, I spend most of my riding time on scooters. Our little Yamaha Fino electric hybrid. But yeah, these are the real vehicles with the real big heavy price. I'm not going to say much at all. We're just going to take pictures. I can't say much about them. 121 cubic inch. Why not? I know what the numbers mean. That's about it. They are looking pretty. And they have a pretty price too. Nothing's obvious on the pricing, so I'm not going to even ask. Did the chicks come with the bikes? I don't know. My friend in Scotland has something similar. I think he's a few years older now. And he's got his in red. And again, the duties, I think it's not going to affect Thailand in any way, shape or form, is it? Because the duties are being paid, you know, when people bring stuff into America. I think this whole thing, the duty thing, I think what they're doing, they're trying to reinvigorate the whole, you know, travel, you know, option where you could go to a different country and then sort of leverage the duty-free buying, because that's become a thing of the past over the last, you know, maybe 15 years. Who buys duty-free anymore? Because it's the same price you're paying in the shops. Now, of course, with duties like in America being put on other countries, duty-free might become a real thing again. You ever thought about that? And of course, if you live in Pattaya, this is the motorcycles you need down in Pattaya, especially in the wet season. You've seen the streets of Pattaya. You can't get around the streets of Pattaya when it rains unless you got one of these things. Oh my God. Suzuki. I know Todd had an idea for the Suzuki. Was it the street bike, or not street bike, but they call it cruiser. Ended up getting the Vulcan after all, but he ended up selling that too. He just doesn't ride. He doesn't have a chance to. He's too busy with his girlfriend, I think. Superjet. That's the sort of jet skis that I first grew up on back in 1980. Yeah, try to watch out for sandbanks when you're on them things, because you know you don't see the sandbank 2 inches under the water when you're doing 40 kilometers an hour. And if you hit the sandbank, guess what? You stop very quickly. Again, the X-Max. This is one scooter that I have had my eye on for some time. Again, I'm not planning to buy one, but yeah, on a practical level now, being here for so long, I would have been far better off spending the money on the X-Max as opposed to the Fino and the Vulcan, and I probably would have had just as much enjoyment. Think about that when you come into Thailand. These 300cc you know, scooters, they're cruising scooters. They're the best way to get around Thailand. You can't drive fast. I don't know why people are always into this fast driving. Have you seen the roads here in Thailand? Right, if you're doing 100 kilometers an hour on a motorcycle, that's really fast enough, you know, with the potholes and the crazy Thailand, you know, drivers, the whole thing. Right, I think 100 kilometers an hour is probably as fast as you ever want to go on a motorcycle. I know I've done a little bit faster, but I don't maintain those speeds. You do it for the lulls, but you don't do it for getting from point A to point B. Me, I like a cruising speed. I think the bike does the best fuel economy at actually 105 kilometers an hour. You know, because you've got the little gauge thing that pulls it. But yeah, and that's what I found. So yeah. anything around that speed is nice, comfortable cruising speed. And you can usually predict the road, so keep that in mind. On the subject of the X-Max is of course the 300cc version. They do have an N-Max, but again the N-Max does struggle if I was to ride to Sukhothai or something like that. It's a bit of a long drive for a 150cc motorcycle. Again, not that it's impossible, and again it's to do with the speed you drive at and how fast you want to get there and how comfortable you want to get there. And that comes into our major factors here in motorcycling. XSR 900. And that's about it for the motorcycle show. I think we had more last December, but yeah, again, look, I suppose there's a lot of competition at the moment to get into this space, and you know, it's not like it's free for these companies. And again, you know, it's one of those things. I'm pretty sure they have to book so far in advance to actually get a spot. They don't know what the market's doing right now. You know, there's a big panic in the marketplace about how these tariffs are going to impact Thailand's economy. Mind you, Thailand really only had around 1.5% of you know, America's imports and a trade deficit of 64 billion or something like that. When I was looking at numbers, not that I really fully understand what all those numbers mean, but yeah. Thailand charges tariffs bringing American stuff to Thailand, so Americans just going to flip the switch and do the same thing. So guess what? All American stuff that's not made in America, well, you know, but what would include, you know, Harley Davidson? If those parts come in from Thailand to build an American vehicle, guess what? The duty's paid there. The American prices go up too. That's the way it is, but that's life. Yeah, Honda, again. Reliable bikes, and this is of course their cruiser. That's an 1100cc version. Again, the ride on that one there just feels a little bit weirder than the Vulcan. That's the Rebel. That's the tricked up version, is it? I'm guessing. Still looks alright. So that's the 500cc Rebel, it's 229,000, and the Kawasaki's 199,000. There you go, I think you know which one you're buying. I wonder what Honda's doing here. Looks like we got a bit of a camp out here. And the cameras. Maybe it's a giveaway. Well, I've seen all that really I wanted to see. I specifically wanted to see the new Kawasaki. And I do like it. I'm not buying it. Again, I'm just not riding where I want to ride. So it's a pointless exercise. But anyway, we'll spend the last few minutes here just checking out all the stuff, checking out all the pretty girls on the Honda stands. And they're chatting amongst themselves. And we will just head back down to our meet-up point. Check out the eye candy on the way down. The one thing that really stands out at this particular motor show, and all the other motor shows as well, is the number of different brands here that are just not recognisable. Okay, we got Nissan, Porsche, Isuzu, but the rest of them, Mitsubishi, yeah, but the rest of them, this is Asia. In Australia we didn't have this many names, but again, it's been a few years since I've been back there as well. You know, we've had a few, you know, quite a extensive range of, you know, Japanese and, you know, Asian import vehicles in Australia, but it pales into insignificance here to what we're seeing in Thailand. I really don't know what the game is here. This D-PAL. I do like this. Is something I'm going to have to put on my bucket list, getting up on one of these things one day. Well, here we have it, the Thailand Motor Show, the 46th Thailand Motor Show. What was my takeaway for today? Prices seem to have actually come down a little bit over the last couple of years, and the quality seems to be going up. Some of the times, maybe that's why the American car industry is struggling. They're so set in their older ways. Poor old Nikola Tesla. Was it Tesla? Was it what's his name? Elon Musk. He's having a bit of a hard time right now. I think his stock value's dropped 50% in the last 4 weeks. Well, I don't have too much invested in that one. But he's one of my portfolios, so, you know, it does get a bit shaky. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to go find Jerry now. I said I could talk all day about cars, but I'd just be talking shit because I don't really know. Turn them on and hit the accelerator. Motorcycles, on the other hand, I like motorcycles. End of story. Anyway, we're out of here. See if I can compete with the background noise. Special thank you again to our Patreons and members. Like I say, wouldn't do it without you. And comments below, questions, answers. Check out my live stream stuff if you want to come and have a chat. This is what we do, guys. We're here for you. See ya.